自分のやりたいことがあれば女なんて捨てて一人でどっかへ行っちまう人だね。
Daily life of a 40-year-old man. Okay, so we had episode number 6 here today, and here's the thing, or episode number 5. This was episode number 5 today. And here's the thing. I really liked this episode a lot. I felt like there was a lot that happened, a lot of moving parts, and it ended up with 𝐤𝐡𝐻𝐸 finally realizing to himself that he's established a family, which includes an anemone or whatever her name is, anemone, anemone, and the bobcat. I am, though, very disappointed in two things. One, I understand, B, he's, 40. That's not, unfortunately, oh my God, it's not very far off from where I am. So I can't even fathom not having or not wanting to have a spouse or an intimate relationship. I understand that he's had some experiences here with the barkeep girl, with the beast girl, and less so with Primula, but the Primula girl made it very aware that she's willing to, explore that with 𝐤𝐡𝐻𝐸, and she really is motivated to, right? So my big problem was like, okay, if he's establishing a family in this other world, I'm sure that the barkeep girl would drop everything to go and travel with him to whatever his next thing is. Primula, I'm sure, would do the same thing. I'm sure she would go and tell her dad, like, hey, I'll be back, but I'm going to go and explore what life could be with 𝐤𝐡𝐻𝐸. And less so, but I'm also sure that if he made a ploy for Beast Girl, although she seems a little more wild and free, that she would also go, shit, there's a future where maybe all three of them could go, So I know that's not the point of the anime. The point of the anime is for him to live a slow life in another world. But if it's also to establish a family, I can't unlock that part of my brain to understand the wanting of the lack of that kind of relationship, especially if you've kind of made peace with the fact that you're stuck in this other world, and you have 2 or 3 people, two that options, I guess you could say, who really feel about you that way. You know what I mean? So obviously he's not going to be alone. He has Anemone with him. And, as a father, I totally get it. That relationship, that bond is strong, and that can get you through a lot. But it's just very different, obviously, than, a spousal partner type relationship. So that was the one disappointment. I was like, okay, now we know it's not the end of the story. We know it's not the end of those girls being recurring characters. But at least for now, we don't know what's next for him. We don't know what town or city or kingdom he's going to end up in, especially because he's being chased by nobles. He definitely wants to end up in the outskirts of somewhere that's not too relatively far from life that's happening, so that he can still trade and fund his life, his slow life, and obviously he wants the little girl to have social interactions and stuff, but we don't know where he's going to end up. So yeah, that's the thing. I feel disappointed, but at the same time, I get it, that's what the show is. And the old lady very, very much made it aware of, like, hey, yeah, if he finds the next thing he wants to do, he'll even leave his woman. And he sure as hell did. He went, bye bitches. So yeah, now the rest of the episode I thought was really good. It was a wrap-up of, well, I think the main ploy of the episode was to establish Anemone with 𝐤𝐻𝐸. It was to establish his now growing family with Anemone and with the bobcat, and it was to establish kind of like his next thing in life, and kind of like, okay, here's my daughter type thing. So I think the main crux of the episode was that. But then the rest of the episode had him wrapping up the bandit stuff, had him setting up all the girls that he saved in different areas of the town, making sure he delivered some back to their hometowns, making sure that he found a place for them to work and stuff here. He got a ton of rewards. He sold a ton of stuff. He gave a lot of stuff away. He was able to give people a lot of money and make sure that everybody was set up appropriately for this big thing that they funded, which I thought was really cool, and definitely is going to be a lot of renown for him. I like how he didn't take credit for any of it, which had his sword friend, the knight guy, get promoted to a baron. I thought that was a really cool thing to see. I thought he almost had a one last moment with the barkeep girl, and she was like, "Yo, you're supposed to take me wherever, dude," and that ended up with him and the little girl coming, and that started that kind of thing. And I really like that quite a bit too. So overall, I think this episode was like an 8 out of 10 episode. I think it was a really good episode. I was just a little disappointed in, as he's forming his family and going to his next thing, that he's leaving a portion of what could potentially be his family behind, whether it's one of those 3 girls or all 3 of them or whatever to come with them. Because I think they all would have made the ploy, especially with Primula at the end, willing to go and give herself to him. And he just went deuces. So, yeah, gangster. All right, my friends, I'm going to see you guys next week for episode number 6. Next episode is called The Book Loving. So I don't know what the hell that's going to be. I assume that he's going to maybe distribute books or become an author somewhere else or something like that. Maybe he's trying to see different ways he can fund his life without getting noticed by nobles. And I think a very easy way to do that, in my personal opinion, again, I'm just speculating, I have no idea what's going to happen. But if you were to order a book or books from the other world and then pen them, you basically just copy them and then distribute them here, he could become a renowned author in this other world and fund his slow life without needing to, not needing to be in commerce or in trade. Basically, he doesn't need to begin distributing things that don't exist in this world to get him in trouble again. So that could make sense to me. So, yeah. All right, my friends, I'm going to see you guys next week, though, for that, and we'll see what ends up happening. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. See you then. Peace.